If you want to understand the future of Canadian nightlife, you have to start by looking at what's happening every weekend across Toronto, Calgary, Ottawa, Edmonton, Montreal, Vancouver, and every city where young people gather to unwind. There's a shift happening, a cultural realignment, a quiet revolution rooted not in technology or trends, but in rhythm. Specifically, Afrobeats. It's not something that happened suddenly, it's been building for years. Influences layering one after another, immigration shaping communities, cities becoming more diverse, diaspora youth demanding something different from the nightlife experience. And slowly but surely, Afrobeats emerged as the heartbeat of the next generation. Today, Afrobeats has become the soundtrack of a new Canada, a multicultural Canada, a Canada that has moved beyond old club formulas and outdated playlists. For decades, Canadian nightlife was dominated by hip-hop, EDM, and dancehall. These genres still matter, but Afrobeats has stepped into the center of the room, not to replace them, but to elevate the energy, to bring something warmer, more communal, more joyful. Afrobeats isn't just another genre DJs sprinkle in. It has become the anchor of entire events, the identity of whole clubs, and the defining sound of an entire nightlife culture that is evolving in real time. To understand why Afrobeats is the future of Canadian nightlife, you have to look at who is living in Canada today. The African population has exploded over the last 2 decades. Nigerians, Ghanaians, Ethiopians, Kenyans, Congolese, Somalis, South Africans, families and students from across the continent have built vibrant communities in Canadian cities. But it's not only Africans embracing Afrobeats. Caribbean youth, South Asians, Canadians born here, newly arrived immigrants, everyone has fallen in love with the rhythm. Afrobeats has become a universal language because it's joyful, melodic, energetic, and inclusive. It's music that brings people together, not music that divides the crowd. Walk into a club on a Saturday night in Toronto, and you'll feel the difference instantly. The DJ drops an Afrobeat set and the room changes. People start to move differently. Barriers dissolve. Strangers dance together. There's more smiling, more interaction, more warmth. Afrobeats creates community inside the club, something nightlife has been missing for a long time. And Canadian cities, which are culturally diverse but sometimes socially disconnected, are embracing that energy with open arms. Another reason Afrobeats is shaping the future is its emotional range. It can be romantic, spiritual, energetic, seductive, playful, or introspective. It works at brunches, day parties, lounges, rooftop events, festivals, and full-blown clubs. Afrobeats can fit into any environment, and that adaptability makes it incredibly powerful in a nightlife scene that's craving diversity. People want variety, they want flavor, they want something that feels alive. Afrobeats delivers that effortlessly. Canadian nightlife is also moving toward experiences, not just events. People don't just want to stand around. They want to engage. They want to dance. They want a vibe that carries them from the moment they walk in until the moment the lights come up. Afrobeats is built for experience. It's built for movement. It's built for nightlife that feels like a celebration, not a transaction. Look at the numbers. Promoters across the country say their Afrobeats nights consistently sell out. Venues see higher retention when Afrobeats is part of the lineup. Bars see more engagement. And festivals with Afro-influenced artists are drawing some of their largest crowds ever. This isn't hype. It's not a temporary trend. It's a cultural shift backed by real demand. One of the most important reasons Afrobeats is the future is because it aligns perfectly with Canadian identity. Canada prides itself on being multicultural, but multiculturalism isn't just policy, it needs a soundtrack. Afrobeats provides that soundtrack beautifully. It blends cultures, bridges communities, and creates spaces where people from different backgrounds can interact naturally. When Afrobeats plays in a club, you see Ghanaians dancing next to Jamaicans, Indians vibing next to Nigerians, white Canadians moving next to Ethiopians. That unity isn't accidental. It's part of the DNA of the music. Canadian nightlife is also evolving because the younger generation is different. Gen Z and young millennials are global in their tastes. They grew up on social media, streaming platforms, and international influences. To them, DeVito is just as important as Drake. Burna Boy sits next to Travis Scott on playlists. Thames and Ira Starr have global fan bases that reach far beyond Africa. And Canadian youth, especially in cities like Toronto, are shaping nightlife based on what they see online, not just what radio plays. Afrobeats aligns with this global mindset. It gives them something that feels fresh, international, and reflective of the world they live in. Another factor is the dance culture embedded within Afrobeats. Clubs used to be places where people stood around, nodded to the beat, and tried to look cool. Afrobeats rewired that entire formula. It brought back actual dancing, movement, interaction, syncopation, choreography. Dancing isn't just entertainment, it's a cultural identity. And Afrobeats revived dancing in a way that hip-hop and EDM haven't in years. Canadian nightlife needed that revival. It needed a genre that reminded people why they go out in the first place, to have fun, to express themselves, to move. The rise of Afrobeats influencers and DJs has also changed the landscape. DJs in Canada who champion Afrobeats, whether they're veterans or new voices, are building loyal followings. Their sets aren't just playlists, they're cultural moments. People follow them from venue to venue, from party to party. These DJs have become ambassadors of a new nightlife era. They curate the sound, they introduce new artists, they shape the taste of entire cities. And behind them, promoters and entrepreneurs are building strong brands around Afrobeats events, giving nightlife a sense of identity and personality that Toronto in particular has been missing for years. Another reason Afrobeats is the future is because it uplifts women in nightlife. Afrobeats gives women a space to dance confidently, to express themselves freely, to enjoy the music without the aggressive energy that sometimes dominates other genres. Afrobeats is sensual without being violent, romantic without being disrespectful, confident without being confrontational. The feminine energy in Afrobeats is powerful, and it reshapes the atmosphere of events in a way that feels welcoming rather than intimidating. When women feel safe, comfortable, and energized, nightlife thrives. Afrobeats is also tied to fashion, and fashion drives nightlife culture. Ankara prints, braids, dreadlocks, waist beads, jewelry, fitted shirts, stylish sneakers, Lagos chic, Ghanaian flair. Afrobeats gave Canadian nightlife a new aesthetic. People dress intentionally for Afrobeats nights. They bring culture to the club. They use the nightlife space as a runway to express identity. And when people look good, feel good, and carry themselves with cultural confidence, nightlife becomes more vibrant. We also can't overlook the emotional connection Afrobeats gives to the African diaspora. For many Africans living in Canada, Afrobeats is a reminder of home. It's a reminder of family gatherings, weddings, childhood memories, and the energy of cities like Lagos, Accra, Nairobi, and Johannesburg. When the music plays, the distance between continents feels smaller. Homesickness fades. Identity feels closer. And that emotional depth gives Afrobeats nights a unique atmosphere, one filled with nostalgia, belonging, and pride. On the business side, Afrobeats is also the future because it's profitable. Clubs make more money on nights with Afrobeats because the crowd stays longer, drinks longer, dances longer, and spreads the word faster. The energy is infectious, the demand is high, and the community is loyal. Promoters know that if they create a good Afrobeats experience, people will come back. They'll bring friends. They'll support consistently.